Well, hello everyone. How's it going? Well, just a couple of months ago, I did a video of the 200,000 mile rollover on this truck, and getting ready to do an oil change, and just thought I would go ahead and film it just for the hell of it. And so anyway, without any further delay, I'm going to go ahead and just get right to it. Alright, for starters, to do an oil change on a 3-valve 5.4, you're going to need, in this case, I'm using a 3/8 drive ratchet, 5/8 socket. I am using 7 quarts of your choice of oil. I choose to run Kindle with Liquid-Tech, 5W20. A lot of people say 5W30, whatever, use what you want. But I use the synthetic blend high performance. There's 2 different brands. There's one that's called Endurance. It's a high mileage oil. This is high performance, which is not a high mileage oil, even though this truck is high mileage. Mainly just high mileage oil just has more conditioners and whatnot to keep your engine from leaking oil, which this one does not. I use a FL 820S oil filter. And finally is my oil filter wrench, which I prefer these over the band ones. I get people who ask me all the time, oh, where do you get these? Honestly, I can't tell you. I don't know where you can get these. You might be able to try Harbor Freight. I got this from my granddad. This thing is probably 4 or 5 times older than I am. So I really have no idea. Most of the ones that I've seen, though, that look like this, the cap wrenches are plastic. This one happens to be aluminum, which works really good if you happen to run into a vehicle that has had the oil filter really over tightened. You can put a lot of torque on this without stripping it out. This is always real fun. Oh. And there she goes. Yeah, we'll let that drain for a little bit. Now we're going back with the plug after about 10 minutes of drain time. And when I'm tightening the oil plug, no, I don't have a torque wrench. I don't use one, but I usually just put my hand right up here on the head of the ratchet. That way I don't have a whole lot of leverage, and you shouldn't have to worry about stripping this. It is thin threads though in this oil pan, so don't go putting a whole bunch of muscle into it. Otherwise you'll be putting in an insert to fix it. And that should be good. Clean up the surrounding area of the plug. Get rid of any residual so you can check for leaks. Alright, and here's our oil filter. We're laying here under the truck, and you can see the sump part of the oil pan. And then right up here towards the driver's side is the oil filter. Good grief, I've been under this thing and doing this so many times. I can do it practically in my sleep. But just get that thing on that filter. Start spinning it off. Very small space to work this, this 3/8 drive wrench. That's one of the biggest things I hear people complain about, is the location of the oil filter on these trucks. And it's it could be better, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay. There we go. Starting to get a little bit of drippage. And there we go. Just like that. And I will need 2 hands putting the filter back on. But there's your little threaded. This truck has got an adapter for an oil pressure gauge, so it sticks out a little bit more. What you're actually seeing is a glow shift sandwich adapter right there. It goes in between the oil filter adapter on the engine and the oil filter, and then it's got a little you might be able to see it a little bit there, but it's got a little pressure sensor which goes to my gauge up top. You'll see that later in the video. Now, one thing that I've always liked to do is pre-fill the oil filter, not full because it is a horizontal filter. Now, you may be asking, you know, why are you doing this? And really and truthfully, this is just my OCD dictating how I do things. There's really no science as far as, you know, anything that says, oh, this helps your engine and it, you know, it makes it last longer. I really can't say one way or the other. This is just how I do things. So you can, you know, you don't have to do it, but anyway, I put just a little bit, maybe a couple of 2/10 of a quart, and then I take some of the oil, the residual, and then I just run it around the seal here. Alright, new filter is on, and I've got the filter just past the point where the gasket starts to make contact. And most people say, oh, just go 3/4 of a turn or whatever. Me, I just go until my hands are already kind of oily. I just go until I can't turn it anymore by hand. I don't use the wrench to put it on. I used to, but you know, yeah, I just do it this way, and I just get it as tight as I can. A lot of people say, oh, you know, you're doing it wrong and blah blah blah. Again, this is just my OCD dictating, you know, how I do things, and you know, may not be necessary, but as far as I'm concerned, it's necessary to me. So, you know, personal preference, it's all subjective. Also, by the way, please, for the love of God, make sure that your gasket right here comes off with the filter, and it doesn't stay stuck up there on the oil filter adapter, because if you screw a new filter on with a gasket on it, it crimps this one up, and it'll cause a major leak and can actually dump all of your motor oil in a matter of just a minute or so and burn the entire engine up. Seen a lot of engines, especially people who get their oil changed at quickie lube places, and they leave this thing on, and they'll get their engines burned up because of it. And now finally, for the easiest part, putting the oil in. I'm going to be putting 7 quarts of motor oil in, and she will be ready to fire up. And there's that gauge I was talking about earlier. And I just touch it to there's a hot wire here that I touch to the battery. It turns on. I can read live pressure right at the oil filter. Alright, 7 quarts of oil is in. There's the damage. I don't even have to measure on the dipstick because I've done this so many times. I know exactly how much is in there. Check the drain plug, nothing's dripping out. And double check the oil filter, it's good. And so we are now ready for a startup. Alright, let's see if today is the day she blows up. All right, we got oil pressure, and this thing apparently lives to see another day. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And we'll go ahead and finish up here now since it's dark outside, and go inside and go to bed. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.